You may already have some awareness of the tiny house movement, a trend that remains popular in the United States and other developed countries. Tiny living is the hot new housing trend that has people of all walks of life permanently downsizing. And tiny houses are so huge that ended up having a Netflix series show called Tiny House Nation, which follows renovation experts as travel across America to show ingenious small dwellings and their creative inhabitants.
Build something that doesn't do 10 other things.
Just pull down on the lever.
Holy crap, look at...
And the last piece of the equation, automatic ball dispensing machine.
Oh my God.
But wait, what exactly is a tiny house? As the name suggests, they have a small area of coverage. A popular construction style is to build them on a trailer base. This allows them to be classified as road towable vehicles and avoids many of the complications of building a permanent home with foundations. Others are log cabin style or shed homes, and some are even built underground. Tiny houses have been signaled as a radical and creative way to address a lack of affordable housing, as well as reducing living costs and shrinking our carbon footprint. What size are tiny houses? Although there is no set standard, typically tiny houses can be between 100 and 600 square feet or 10 and 55 square meters, which is small, so be prepared to downsize significantly if you live in a house or apartment. Where did tiny houses come from? The precursor to the tiny house was the shotgun shack, a small, larger single-story building in use among urban Americans from the late 19th century until the Great Depression of the 1930s. Although few of these houses had more than 2 bedrooms, they provided accommodation for entire blue-collar families in southern United States cities like New Orleans. Henry David Thoreau and the publication of his book Walden are often quoted as early inspiration. The modern movement is considered by some to have started in the 1970s, with artists such as Alan Wexler investigating the concept of choosing to live in a compact space. Early pioneers include Aloyd Kahn, author of Shelter, 1973, and Lester Walker, author of Tiny Houses, 1980. Sarah Suzanka started the counter movement for smaller houses, which she details in her book, The Not So Big House, 1997. Tiny houses on wheels were popularized by Jay Schaefer, who designed and lived in a 96 square foot, 8.9 square meters house for 2 months and later went on to offer the first plans for tiny houses on wheels, initially founding Tumbleweed Tiny House Company and then Four Lights Tiny House Company, and then Four Lights Tiny House Company on September 6, 2012. How did tiny houses get popular? A few different factors are responsible for the tiny home movement. The 2007-2008 financial crisis led to high unemployment rates and subsequent foreclosures, and so some people sought out this more affordable alternative over more expensive traditional homes. As well as affordability, people who wanted to reduce their carbon footprint and negative environmental impact found the energy efficiency and joy of living with less that tiny home life offered to be exactly what they were looking for. Why do people want to live in tiny houses? If you don't mind sacrificing some room, tiny homes can provide tremendous benefits. Here are the top 6 reasons to make the big move to tiny living. Lower cost. Tiny homes cost significantly less than a traditional home. Prices vary by size and feature, but the media cost of a tiny home is between $30,000 and $60,000, according to Business Insider. That low sticker price gives tiny homeowners the financial freedom to own their home, avoid large mortgages, and build up their savings. More sustainable. Because of their size, tiny homes require fewer materials to build and less energy to maintain, significantly lowering their owner's carbon footprint. Take it a step further with solar-powered energy and compostable sewage. Less cleaning. It's simple. Less stuff means less clutter. Cutting down space means fewer rooms to vacuum, fewer surfaces to dust, and more time to do what you love. Reduced stress. The simplicity and freedom of tiny living has several psychological benefits. Too much clutter has been proven to diminish mental well-being. That's right, less stuff can actually make you happier. Plus, the low cost of living in a tiny home significantly lowers stress levels. More time outdoors. There may not be a ton of space for exercise and activities in a tiny home, and that's the point. Tiny home living drives owners outside to enjoy the great outdoors and get active. No mortgage if you buy outright. Freedom of movement. You can move the house place to place if it's on a trailer base. Lower energy use. Easier maintenance. Ability to be immersed in nature. Simplified life. In conclusion, research has suggested that people who live in tiny houses spend more time outside or with friends and family, which can make them happier than their overworked counterparts. However, building a tiny house still requires thousands of dollars and, importantly, somewhere to build. This means these projects seem mostly to be done by people who do have some savings and access to personal loans.